¿Qué tal, amigos? Les habla Obi de Eleva Russellville. En esta ocasión tenemos a una invitada especial. No sé si la han oído aquí por la ciudad en Russellville. Yo miro sus anuncios en todos lados. Doctor K está con nosotros en este día. Doctor Carmela Montes. Vamos a hablar en inglés en esta tarde, pero abajo pueden leerlo en español. Así que bienvenida. Welcome to the program.
All right. Thank you so much.
Glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Dr. K, see it everywhere. The first time I saw your logo was working with the Hispanic Heritage Festival with
perfect.
Miriam Oliva.
Yes.
And she always spoke great about you. You have to meet her and you have to, her business. So I'm glad that I finally got to meet you. And we're going to learn a little bit more about your
Thank you for this
business.
opportunity. I'm anxious to share my background and some of my experience with the community, with your audience. So.
Okay, great. Well, Dr. Carmela Montes Canornshield. I know we were doing a little how are we going to pronounce this. I'm glad I wrote it because if I would have read it, I would have said something else. But Canornshield. And, a couple things we want to mention before we go ahead. You were awarded the Face of Orthodontics by AY Magazine in 2023.
Yes.
And you're also the top 1% Invisaligner provider in Arkansas.
That's correct.
Okay, so, how do you get to get those awards and named 1%?
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of work, right?
So, it's a lot, just recognition throughout the community and through awards that I've received and just through the work that I've done in orthodontics. And so they recognize that. And so it's been a privilege to have that awarded to me this year. And then as far as the top 1% orthodontist for Invisalign in Arkansas, that has been really a long haul since early 2000, I'd say even late 90s when I started Invisalign. And so I was one of the first orthodontists in the state to actually pursue and conquer the technique of doing braces through clear aligner therapy. So it's quite, it's not so new anymore, but back then, people and even orthodontists weren't sure how it worked, but I just hung in there and learned and went through a whole curve of ups and downs with the appliances, but they've come so far with moving teeth. They have this incredible staff of engineers and orthodontists that can actually engineer certain shapes of attachments, which are really actually the attachments are clear. They're like tooth-colored little bumps on the teeth that are shaped a certain way to move the tooth a certain way. So that's come a long way since they first started. And that's what makes it so different from some of the clear aligner therapies that you might see online that you can buy online and just like get a home kit because they don't offer those very specific attachment shapes for your teeth. They just send you a set of aligners and just kind of say, wish you luck. Where with board-certified orthodontist, which I am the only board-certified orthodontist in the River Valley, and also 1% orthodontist for the Invisalign provider. But I have learned through experience with the company and working with a lot of the orthodontists in the company, how to manipulate and how to design and how to treatment plan cases, individual cases, one at a time. That has given me a lot of success. So between all my experience since late 90s till now with Invisalign, I'm considered one of the top orthodontists now in their as a provider of Invisalign. So I love Invisalign. I can do almost just about everything. Right now, Invisalign is offering a Invisalign First program, which is for the younger kids.
Yeah.
And I love it because I can do so much with it with arch development. A lot of the problems that kids have early is crowding. You see a lot of I mean, I don't want to get into a whole lot of specifics, but they're mostly what Invisalign first does, which is like ages 7 through 10. It provides me a way to expand them and make space for them.
Yeah.
Or to close space to make room for other teeth. It just gives me so much versatility. With overbites, I can put like bite ramps in them. Even with big jaw discrepancies, I can start correcting them early with Invisalign first. We have we call them mandibular advancement tabs that can go on the aligners that allows the lower jaw to come forward.
Yeah.
It also will allow me capability of putting rubber bands on the aligner. So, I mean, I can do so much, which back in the day when we first started, it was headgear, it was bite plates, it was, all this crazy, extra oral appliances that we would have to do in order to get these results, where now we can get a lot of these early treatment results with Invisalign therapy with very minor, easy to wear. They're comfortable for the kids. They can take them out to brush their teeth. That's the main thing. They're not actually going to be attached to the teeth like the normal or typical metal braces are attached to teeth. These
so food won't get stuck.
Yeah, so you can actually take the aligners out to brush and floss and put them back in. And, they do have to be worn a good amount of a time, like say 20 hours a day. I mean, that's a lot, but it gives them about 4 hours or so of taking them out, enjoying their meals, brushing their teeth, enjoying special treats. If they want to go to the movie, eat popcorn, which, or even drink a soda or whatever, some of the things you can't do with braces. Or you shouldn't do. Most kids do it anyway, but you shouldn't do. You can take them out for those treats.
Yes,
so
yes.
It's a nice, very nice phase, what I call phase 1 therapy for that age group of, like I said, 7 to 10 years old. And then, of course, Invisalign Teen goes into my teenagers, which is nice because they like it for the aesthetics. They, a lot of my teenagers don't want to walk around with braces. Some of them do. And that's okay. Like I offer them, I said, do you want to wear braces or do you want to wear Invisalign? I give them that choice because I have some kids that like braces, and that's great. I love braces. Don't get me wrong, and we do them. But and they want the colors on them and everything. But the ones that don't, especially my athletes, because especially like baseball, volleyball, basketball, football. Some contact sports that typically when they get hit in the mouth with the metal braces and wires, it can hurt them.
Yeah.
With the aligners, it actually acts as a barrier, almost like a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Because they're thick enough to where they do stand between the teeth and the lips. So it acts as a protector, if you will, like a mouth protector. So the student athletes love those, and so do the coaches, and so do the band directors who kids are playing band instruments because they're a lot softer on the lips. Again, depending on what instrument, but for them to play their instrument. So there's just a whole lot of pros and pros for the Invisalign. So I've mastered it.
So pretty much like right now you can take on any challenge and find a solution.
Specific. And I tell patients that I tell them, I said I'll get you where you need to be. We'll start with Invisalign. I may end up with a few brackets on your teeth with some rubber bands. In other words, I pull out every tool I got in my toolbox, and that's the beauty of what I do is that I can expand my thinking and whatever I need to do on that patient. I'm not just locked into one therapy. I can do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Well, right now that you say you have beginners, right, 7 to 10-year-olds.
Yes.
Resonates with me because me and my wife we've been considering my middle daughter with slight overbite or whatever.
Yes.
So she has a dentist. How do you work with
That's a great question.
You know, like the
Yeah,
bridge to you. Do you work with her doctor?
Here's how that works. You do not have to have a dentist referral to come to an orthodontist.
Okay.
So know that.
Okay,
You
so
can
we can
call
just schedule
straight
and
to
go,
my
okay.
office. And sometimes dentists will, because general dentist, they have a general knowledge of orthodontics, but obviously not a specialized knowledge like what we have as dental specialists.
Mm-hmm.
As a board certified dental specialist in orthodontics, I've gone through 4 years of dental school, and then on top of that, I go to it's a 2 to 4 year program, which I completed after dental school. So I'm a dentist first, and then I become a specialist, just like a heart surgeon becomes a general physician first, and then they specialize to be heart surgeons. So it's the same sort of concept. So that they may understand some general concepts of orthodontics, but may not know to refer a patient for certain things. Okay, I'll just put it like that. So it's okay that you come to me first, and then I can also at that appointment say, okay, here's what I'll give you a treatment plan. Like you need to get to your dentist. You need to have your teeth cleaned. You need to have these cavities fixed. You need, give them a plan. And then after that, we can start your braces. In other words, I can kind of lead them into that direction of where they need to go.
And all in one house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't do the general dentistry in my office. I just do the orthodontics and TMJ therapy. I do also... and we do some whitening too, but for the most part, we just do the orthodontics, which will include so much. It includes first phase. It includes, retainers. It includes, braces. It includes, like I said, TMJ therapy. So whatever is under my umbrella of my specialty, I will provide them. But I don't clean teeth. I don't do general dentistry anymore. In Arkansas, there's a board, the Board of Orthodontics, the Board of Dentistry states that once you're a specialist, you can't do general dentistry, which is kind of odd because general dentists can do orthodontics. Okay, so but I would kind of steer away from that just personally because orthodontics is a lot more complicated than it looks. Yeah. You have to understand A to Z. If you're missing several parts of that equation, you're not going to get the result you want. Yeah. And then I end up, which is fine, fixing it. Okay, and that's fine. But because they think it's easy and it's not. Yeah. Okay, so you do have some general dentists that are doing braces, that are doing Invisalign, but they're just not as equipped with their schooling, I guess. Okay, than I am. Okay. So and then being board certified on top of that. Is just a small percentage of orthodontists in Arkansas that are actually board certified, and that's when you're board certified in a specialty, it takes really years to get cases together. You have to present, so many cases to a board of orthodontists from all over the world. You present 10 cases from A to Z, basically, every type of malocclusion, and you present them and you defend them and you bring models and x-rays and all that you do to defend your cases, and then you take a written test. I mean, it's quite an ordeal. That's why there aren't very many orthodontists that are board certified because it's just so much. It takes years to get the cases together and to present them. And of course you have to present them, with perfect models and perfect, everything has to be perfect, So it's quite an ordeal. So I got that way back when I first started, which was I got that in the late 90s, early 2000, I think early 2000 when I got my board certification. I think 2003. But it's just something that I'm very proud of, and that people don't realize that when you go to get braces, what are you getting? Who are you going to?
Yeah.
And why? They don't understand that it's just it's more involved. It's more difficult. There's a lot more to it than just slapping braces on a kid and praying for the best.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we have you here in the River Valley.
Yeah, I love it. My husband's from here. Yeah, he's from here. I'm actually from Fayetteville, and graduated. I'm not going to go into that as okay. I'm actually from Fayetteville. My mother and father moved here from California. Was born in California. Okay.
Me too.
Then we moved to Arkansas because my father he's passed away. We owned a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, and we owned it for years, for like 30 years in Fayetteville.
Okay.
So if anyone is familiar with Fayetteville and know of Herman's Rib House, which is a just historic landmark in Fayetteville, our restaurant actually started at Herman's Rib House, and then my dad and Herman. When my dad built because we kind of outgrew Herman's Rib House because it's a very small little house there in Fayetteville, and we built our own restaurant near closer to Springdale or near Johnson, Arkansas. But anyway, so we were there for 30 years, and my dad we had a Mexican restaurant, and I worked there for years growing up, and also all through school. And so when I talk to my young patients about, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And I sometimes give them my experience that I actually worked at the restaurant for so many years that I got to where I was very comfortable talking to people.
Yeah.
And so because what I do, I have to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And you have to be a people person.
Definitely.
With what I do, because if they don't trust you, they're not gonna work with you. They're not gonna be, because it's a two-way street. I mean, they have to trust me, and then I have to also motivate them to do what I need them to do.
Yeah.
And then if we work together, then the whole thing works. I mean, we get finished definitely. On time. The results are beautiful. Their teeth are gorgeous when they're done. It's a win-win. So I've learned, and I learned that through working with my dad at my dad's restaurant, at our family restaurant, Casa Montez in Fayetteville. So we were there for years, and we were the only really Hispanic family for a long time in that area. This is in the 60s. Wow. This was I was there. So 62 is when I moved there. I was 2 years old or whatever, but so we were the first Hispanic family and to have a restaurant, a family-owned restaurant.
Like a Mexican restaurant.
A Mexican restaurant.
Wow, you guys might have been the first in the state. Not sure.
It might have been, but we were one of the first in Northwest Arkansas, for sure. Yeah. There might have been another one, but and then for years, we were the only place that people went for Mexican and on authentic Mexican food. Yeah. And then as the years went by, there was other chains that came in, the El Chicos, the La Chiquita. I mean, I don't know. I don't even remember the names of them, but, they eventually all made it in there. And but, yeah, we lasted for about 30 years. And then my dad decided to retire and asked us if we wanted to take over the restaurant business. And we were like, no, thank you. It's a lot of work.
Definitely. I know that you have, there's business hours, and then there's prep time, right, before you open.
Oh, it's so much work.
It might be like a 24-hour.
Yes, and I have 3 brothers, and they were all cooks. And then I was the waitress, the hostess. My mom and I were hostess. And then I got a little older, was waitressing all through school. I tell patients this also that, it was probably the best thing because I always made really good grades in school. And that was probably why. Because I had to make time to study. Like because I worked after school
Yeah.
up until 9 and 10 o'clock at night. So, at 9 o'clock, if we weren't busy, I'm in a booth, I'm doing my homework. I had a certain time to do homework, and I had to do it.
Yeah.
And so, having a lot going on like that, I think actually makes you more focused on, or made me more focused on, getting our studies done.
Yeah.
Because and I did it that way all through school and even through college. I worked through college. When I was in 11th grade, I went on to a VOTEC program in 10th grade. There at Fayetteville High School, we had a VOTEC program. It was a dental assisting VOTEC program. In 8th grade, I pretty much knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a dentist because I was really
8th grade. You were
I
like,
knew
this
it.
is what I'm going to do.
This is what I want to do. I was good at my hands. I was artistic. And really my dad was the one that said, hey, what about dentistry? I was like, yeah, maybe, kind of planted the seed in my brain. And then from 8th grade on, because you have to start taking classes and this and that, starting in 8th grade, I started taking those science classes and chemistry classes and all those classes that, involve pre-dental kind of program. So I did that. And then in 10th grade, my high school offered a dental assisting program. So I ended up taking that dental assisting program and learning how to dental assist. And so then I started working for a dentist in 10th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. So in 10th grade, I'm working for a dentist after school. So, and then I'm going to work for my dad at the restaurant.
Wow. And that's incredible because not a lot of us might have the energy to do all that.
Yeah,
right?
so that's what I'm saying. And then I was a cheerleader. I was a track star. I was in high school, very athletic. Also, to just top it all off. So my poor mother, God love her, she was like, stop already. You're driving me crazy. You got so much going on. But I never stopped. I never rested. And to this day, I'm that way.
You're still going.
Yeah, because my daughter is in volleyball now. And, I'm like that with her volleyball. And now my son is in basketball. So, it's just always doing something. But so after I finished college, I was still working restaurant and with a dentist. Applied to dental school, got into dental school, did dental school for 4 years. And then in dental school, you then apply at the end of your 4 years, you apply if you want to go into specialty school. Yeah. So in dental school, I realized that I was really good at doing orthodontics. I was like technically, doing the wires, bending wires, we would make retainers, things like that in dental school. And I was really, because I was artistic, and I loved doing it. And so anyway, I decided to apply to one school, which was insane. Well, because it was expensive to apply. I think it was a couple of $100. I don't know. It was a lot of money, and to apply to a school at that time. So I think I decided I was just gonna, I put a lot of faith in God. It was like, okay, if it's not supposed to be it, I'm just gonna go into general dentistry. Yeah. Well, I applied to Boston University, which was the #1 ortho school in the country. Along with, there was another school out in California, but I didn't want to go back out there. It was in San Francisco, and I didn't want to go to San Francisco. So Boston University was one of the top schools. I think it was top 3 schools. So I'm going to apply there. And it was unusual because they did not take, they didn't do a face-to-face interview. It was one of the very few schools that never did a face-to-face. They accepted you on your grades and on your test scores. Okay. So I scored in the top 1% in my test scores in dental school. And then they had you write an essay as to why you wanted to be an orthodontist. So I just went back to this whole story I just told you about me being, the whole growing up in the restaurant and then going into dental assisting program, working as and just told them the whole story. And so I was one of 4 candidates that got accepted in the whole country. Wow. Yeah. So in their 2-year program, and then they took like two other students for their master's program. So there was 6 of us out of the whole country that got accepted.
Wow.
And I was from Arkansas. Isn't that crazy?
Representing.
So, I mean, right? So I'm at Boston University, and so all these are prestigious professors. Yeah. A lot of them are from Harvard and Tufts and Boston University. They all kind of come together and they teach the different schools in that area because we're all in Boston, Northwestern. And the chairman of my department was like he was so smart. It was crazy. But so here I am from Arkansas talking to him in my Arkansas slang, fixing to do this. And he corrected, every time I would have to speak in front of the class, he would correct me. So by the time I finished that program, I was speaking precise.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, it was a good program. So from there, I came back home. I came back home and started practicing in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Okay.
And there was an orthodontist there, Dr. McWhorter. He had been there for 50 years. And I went in with him for a couple of years, and then I basically started my own practice after that.
Yeah.
And I was in Hot Springs for years. Even after I got married, I was traveling to Hot Springs.
Wow, from Russellville.
From Russellville.
What is that, like an hour, 20?
Yeah, over that Highway 7, so crazy. But I eventually did sell that practice, and I started my practice in Russellville in early 2000. 2000 is when I bought Dr. Q Silkinson, who was an orthodontist here for years. I bought his practice and then started that, and then I built my practice in my office now, which is on 2015 West Parkway Drive, right across the street from the Russellville Junior High School. And I've been there since 2001.
Okay.
2001. That's a long time.
Wow. And there's still, you just have like another building beside, right? Is it going down Parkway?
So
you know left side, right?
Yeah, so
kind of like the last building before a big space of land.
Yeah. So I'm right there, right across from the junior high school.
Oh, so it might have been lonelier there in 2000.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Was the high school built by then? Or?
It had just been built.
Okay.
So I've been there. So I've been practicing over 30 years, 35 years. So that's a long time.
It is, and just hearing your story is very inspiring, because a lot of people and whoever's watching. In this channel with Eleva Russellville and Level Up Russellville, we bring entrepreneurs, leaders, people that have big dreams and goals, and like a lot of them have said it's not easy, and what I'm seeing here is that you've kept constant in your goals, but I'm sure it hasn't been easy, and it's inspiring to me, because like you keep going and going and bettering yourself, and then, but I'm sure you see the fruits.
I do. And also, just as a note, I was one of the first female orthodontists in Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and that is a whole challenge upon itself, because nowadays there's more female dentists and orthodontists, but back when I was here, I was one of the first, and it's kind of, it just was a challenge.
Yeah.
Because, most dentists were male. And kind of the good old boy system was in effect, in a sense that, I had to work harder, and for them to recognize me as as a specialist in orthodontics, and as someone they would refer to, and this and that. So that ice is hard to break sometimes, even to this day. But I mean, it is what it is, and sometimes you just have to just say, hey, I'm just going to keep doing my very best, keep treating my patients the very best I know how, like family. That's my motto. I always treat them like family, and they'll tell you that. If you go onto any of my like Google reviews, I have hundreds of Google reviews, almost 5-star ratings, and just patients saying, that how approachable I am, and just how nice the office staff is, and how it's like family. And so that is a big deal to me. I mean, and that's the culture that I want teach my staff. This is how we are. This is we're gonna be this way. Because
yeah.
if you're going to work for me, you're going to be like me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know
and
what I'm saying?
that's great that you say that because a lot of companies don't have that. They have
Yeah.
like the business, the let's get appointments, and then you walk in there and then you just feel the mood. Like,
Yeah.
do they want to be here? You know what I'm saying? So
No.
I'm
So
glad that
if
you
you're not
established that.
if you're not in on my page with that, you don't work for me. Period.
Yeah.
So I have staff members that have worked for me for over 20 years. Wow. I mean, just like several of them, 10 years plus. So I mean, it just they don't leave me, which is I love that because they're like family.
Yeah.
And so and I respect them, they respect me. And we work as a team. In that way because that's just the way to do it. Yeah. Life's too short to do it any other way.
Yeah. So is it safe to say that it matters who you surround yourself with as far as your business and as a team?
Yes, because every day, because when we go to the office, it's like home away from home. I want it to feel. I want my staff. We pray every morning. We huddle. We pray about each other's. Like in other words, I say, you give it up in the morning,
Yeah.
and let's lift it up. And in other words, everyone's got problems, at home or this or that, or they've got sick parents or sick kids. I want them to lift up their prayers, and then after that, let's go to work.
Yeah.
In other words, let God handle that. And in other words, I want you fully focused on what it is you're doing for me today. For the office today. And I'm very flexible with them, and they know that. But when they're there, I want them super hyper focused and on the top of their game.
Yeah.
Because I don't accept it any other way.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying? So in other words, we huddle, we pray, and then we give it to God, and then we work. And that's our morning ritual.
That's the secret sauce for Dr.
It is.
K.
No, it is. I promise you it is. I play Christian music in my office, which I've had some patients not like that, but it's okay. And because I feel like that's without God's guidance and all that He does for us, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Period.
No, and then it's like you're not afraid to show it. And
No.
I like that when I moved here, I noticed several businesses playing worship music. And I was like, wow, because I'm from Cali.
Yeah.
And to me, it was a great feeling because we would play worship in the car.
Yes.
And then we would go into restaurants.
Yes.
And we get it. But when we saw that here, I was like, hey, that's great.
No,
that's
it
Phil
is.
Wickham. That's
right.
cool,
That's right. Because that's, I'm doing the gift that God gave me. I know without a doubt it's from God because there's so many obstacles that came, in front of me to get to where I am that I know without a doubt I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And the fact that what I do is easy for me.
Yeah.
And I know, and so I tell my kids that too, when it's easy and you enjoy it and, that's a gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your gift. That's one of your gifts from God is that, like I tell Bella with the volleyball, that's your gift. I mean, you have a gift. You're athletic, you're good, and it's just opening their eyes to that, and living that gift out. And I said, you never know. One day you may be on a platform where you can share your gift.
Yeah.
And share your testimony of your gift
Yeah.
To other kids or whoever. God's going to use you somehow, and He uses me every day in my office. I mean, I when my patients are like, I've got a hospital, I'm getting this out, or I've got cancer, and I've got, I lay my hands on them and I pray with them right there. I don't hesitate.
Wow.
No, I don't hesitate because that's, this is my gift. And so I give it to them, also. I give it to them. And I don't even hold back, not 1 second,
Oh, that's great.
No, it is. And so, but I feel good. I can sleep good at night, every night, knowing that I did my best I could do for that day. With my family and and everybody, I always give God first, but, family and my work, right there.
Oh, that's great. No, and I'm glad you're out here sharing a little bit of your story, your practice.
Yes.
I know that we've been talking about several things, but we mentioned earlier that did I mention I was at the basketball game and saw the
Okay.
promotion?
Okay. Oh yeah.
I did. I mean, you do a lot. I mean, not just by word, but you also sponsor a few things in town. And I'm like, you're like a whole 360.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's another thing that has given me, God rewards me in so many ways, and He's given me favor in so many ways. And I feel like me giving myself and also my, money to the community
yeah.
in whatever ways I can, But yeah, I do sponsor a lot. I sponsor a lot of youth programs and youth activities. I used to do soccer for years, and now I do volleyball. My daughter played soccer. Okay, that's where we started this.
Yeah.
She played soccer for 8 years. Okay, and then in 7th grade, got the volleyball bug. Okay, and started playing volleyball. And so she, in 8th grade, decided that she was just going to play volleyball. And, of course, her coach was like not happy, but, she wanted to play volleyball. And so now we play volleyball, but I was sponsored all through all those 6, 7, 8 years. I don't remember how many years, the AVSA here in Russellville.
Yeah.
And now I sponsor the high school volleyball team, and I do a big sponsorship there, and I sponsor the high school basketball team because my son plays basketball. and I also do a lot of work with the junior auxiliary of Russellville. I donate like an Invisalign case, which is, Invisalign orthodontic case. So that's probably $5,000-$6,000 up to what they can contribute. Whoever buys the package, and that goes to the community, and backpacks, medical, all the things that the junior auxiliary does. So I feel like that's pretty special, and that's a big one. That
great.
sponsorship, and that's coming up. That's coming up in February. The big. We used to call it charity ball. I think they call it children's ball or something. I'm not sure what they call it now, but it's a big deal in Russellville.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I heard you said, because you've been the first at a lot of things, and one of them was the first female orthodontics in Arkansas, right? So I don't know if you want to say anything to maybe a female watching that might want to get into the practice or their own business, or just whatever you want to share that can motivate them to just go into that journey, take a step of faith, or a leap of faith.
Yeah. So always, so anytime that you feel like you're the underdog in a situation, in other words, because female orthodontists, they're, like I said, they're more now than they used to be, but that whole journey was just, you have to have faith that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and then make sure you're really good at it. Okay? Like you go and you do continuing education, you go to seminars, you have to be really good at what you do.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I don't want to hire someone just because they're a woman.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not going to do that. I will hire you because you're good. Okay? So always remember that. There's no free ride here.
Yeah.
You got to work at it, and you got to be better than your male counterpart in a sense. In a sense that you're dedicated to your profession. You're going to work your booty off every morning. You're going to get on. Nowadays it's a matter of kind of marketing yourself. Yeah. And making sure that you're making sure that you are who you are, and you are the person that you want to display. In other words, there's not two sides of you. Yeah. You got to be on the up and up. Have like I said, a lot of faith in God's purpose and plan for you. That's number one, because you have to pray about it first. Yeah. And that's number one. But once you realize that, and you feel it in your heart, then you do everything in your power to be the best you can be at your profession. And then the rest will take place.
Yeah.
It really will. And then doors will start opening. Because then you start getting awards, or you start getting, recognition, or you start using those accolades and those achievements to your benefit, in a sense that you can then market yourself. Nowadays you have to market yourself, you know, and you can't sit back and think it's going to just happen.
Yeah.
You have to market yourself. You have to get out there in the community. You may have to do a podcast. You may have to, sponsor a school program, or do get out and talk to some people about what you do, or the Rotary Club, the Lions Club. I did all of that back in the day. I don't do it as much anymore. This is cool. I love this, but I'm kind of, but I put the work in.
Yeah.
It was not easy.
I believe you.
And so you do have to work at it. It's not going to be easy, but you can't give up. If you know in your heart it's something you want to do, and you know in your heart you're going to be really good at it, and you're probably one of the best at it, you just need to, tell more people about it, in a marketing sense. Keep doing it. Wake up every morning knowing that you got to do a little bit to make that happen every single day. So, male, female, whatever, but that's how you do it. It is.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are listening to Dr. K. Hey, that's how you do it. Hard work, keep going, and don't stop.
Don't stop. I don't stop.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're here today. I know we have a few more. I know we want to mention where to find you on social media.
Oh, yeah.
I know you have several, but I don't know which when you want to maybe.
Oh, you'll have to tell me.
So we have.
Yes. I've got my clearlydrk.com is my website.
Yeah.
And those have all my links to my social media. But my Facebook link is Dr. K Orthodontist, board certified orthodontist.
Yeah, Dr. K board certified orthodontic. Instagram
is Dr. K Russellville. And then and then I have it.
The YouTube.
Yeah.
The YouTube would be Dr. K Ortho Russellville.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. K.
So, I'm out there on social media, and I think we even have a TikTok, but anyway. I have one TikTok that we did. I think it's Dr. K Ortho is our TikTok. And we did Christmas colors on a girl. It looked like candy cane, like a red-white
nice.
deal. And we had that little candy cane song playing. That thing has a gazillion views.
Really?
Like thousands and thousands and thousands. But yeah, so, and I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, the social media, aspect of our practice. You have to kind of do that now, anymore. I think people advertise on social media and look for it on social media. So, the phone book's kind of history, and, I still love the newspaper, but, sometimes magazines, but, not everyone, looks at those anymore. It's a lot of podcasts like your program and social media. So we do have to, still have a presence. And I feel like I do have a pretty good presence on all those platforms.
Yeah.
And so I've got a lot of good videos on my Facebook page, and they go way back. So if you want to know anything about Invisalign First, braces, how to brush your teeth with braces. I mean, we've got so many archived videos on YouTube and Facebook that you can just go and scroll. I even have some things in Spanish.
Okay.
I do have Spanish-speaking employees, Hispanic employees that work for me that have been with me for years, that help me with my Spanish-speaking patients. So we we got it going on.
That's
you know?
great. Is there any Spanish you still feel comfortable with or not?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand a lot of Spanish because growing up, my dad, of course, he was 100% Hispanic, and then my mother was Caucasian, so we spoke both, and then my dad spoke maybe some. You know how it is when you grow up with a Hispanic father. You know, more words than you don't really want to express in public. But so we learned all those words.
Those are the easiest to learn sometimes.
They are. No, but I mean, a lot of just basic conversation I can definitely understand and piecemeal out, you know, some conversation. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not completely just ignorant with it. I do pretty good with it.
Do you know the basic, buenos dias, buenas noches, gracias?
Yes, of course. And so I try to teach my kids, my 6-year-old, Spanish, and he learns it better than Bella. I mean, and Bella's like, I know I should probably learn Spanish. I was like, you think?
Yeah, you kind of have to now.
She looks very much Hispanic. My kids are all adopted, and Bella was her background is Hispanic and Caucasian and then Filipino. So, but she very much looks Hispanic. Yeah. Dark hair, dark black eyes, you know, dark skin, and so people will approach her in Spanish.
Yeah.
Thinking that they're gonna get a response from her in Spanish, and she's like, "I don't know what you said." I was like, "Bella, learn some Spanish." And then my other son, my son, who's 6, is total Caucasian. You know, he's actually Irish background. He knows more Spanish than she does. Honest. He's like within that age, they're like a sponge, you know. And then my oldest was taking some Spanish, but I don't know how much. She's 23, doesn't live. She lives in Tennessee now, but anyway, yeah. So, and then my husband's German, so he don't know any Spanish. It's hilarious. It really is.
Yeah. No, well, I'm glad you came out to share a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm truly impressed that your journey, and it seems like it started when you were super young. Like you said, 8 years old. Or
I was 8th grade.
8th grade.
When I decided I wanted to be an orthodontist, but you know, really, and that's another thing I want to just emphasize is God will give you your gift even at an early age if you recognize it. Yeah. You know, in other words, you may not know exactly what you want to do at an early age, but he'll start like I was really good with my hands. Like at Christmas, my dad wasn't. And when it was Christmas time, I was the one putting together the bikes, the toy. I mean, because I was mechanical. You know, I could do it. I was, you know, and I could read instructions well, whatever, but it was always my job to put together everything. And so, you know, and I was doing that at a young age. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, you know, sometimes you get these gifts, you know, you don't realize what you're going to do with them yet. And then as you get older, you know, things start opening up, your eyes open up a little bit more, you know, godly people are in your life, maybe asking you to go down or to, you know, work for them, you know, as a dentist, I went to work or, you know, just different things. And so you just kind of build on those. And
so did you tell your mom or dad, hey, I want to be a dentist in 8th grade?
And
was that a big factor in continuing your career? Because when my daughter was 4, she went up to the microphone and she's like, hey, my name is Juliana Rosales. I'm 4 years old. And now when I grow up, I want to be a doctor.
Okay.
And since then, I've been supporting her. I've told her, yes. I think I asked her this week, hey, baby, are you still with your doctor plans? Because I know you can do it. You're very creative. You're very artistic.
Yes.
And then after that same year, or when she was 5, she actually had surgery. And she got a really good nurse. And then she was like, I want to be a nurse because she treated me really well. And I've just been supporting her. Like, if you want to do it, you can do anything you want. Yes. That's what I tell both my girls. You guys
are that's
beautiful,
what I'm talking
bold,
about.
Strong, and you can do anything. I don't want to be like a doctor.
No.
That's not what we do, you know?
Yeah. So in other words, people are going to appear in your path, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna like when God has a plan for you, He will put people in your path. He'll put the nurses in your path. He'll put the orthodontist in your path. He'll put the dentist in your path. He'll put these people in your path. And as long as you are in tune with God's like voice when you're praying
Yeah.
about things and stay in tune, you'll see that this person I was supposed to meet this person.
Yeah.
You know, I was supposed to be at this place. I was supposed to have this interview. You know, you start putting those blocks together, and then before you know it, you're in 8th grade and you're taking, you know, biology and chemistry, and you're building these blocks, and then you're in high school and and then you're in college, and before you know it, you're in dental school, and before you know it, you're in med school, before you know it, you're in nursing school. You just keep building your blocks, okay? Because that's another thing that I feel like I like to just teach my kids this is that, you know, God will give you green lights, green light, green flags, and then also give you red flags.
Yeah.
You know, on people that you might meet, people that you associate with, you see red flags.
Yeah.
Probably not the people you need to be with.
Yeah.
You know, green light or green flags. Let's keep going down that path until in other words, until God tells you otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that. I would say yes, keep encouraging her because it may be exactly what she's supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I was.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great. No,
yeah.
I don't know if you want to add anything else before we.
Oh no, I think I've talked a lot. I think we pretty much have cleared and talked about everything, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
I've been taking.
Yeah.
Take a picture.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I'm happy to do this. I've really expressed to Miriam that I want to be more involved in the Hispanic community. My mom and dad, they passed away within a month of each other back in 2017. Since then, I've sponsored a scholarship, actually, in their name at the high school, the Alex and Jean Montez Scholarship. But I don't want to forget that, you know. I want to stay connected, and I really want my daughter to be more connected. So I'm trying to, like, stay connected with that. And so this was a good opportunity for me, and I want to be more involved with it because that's always will be in my heart.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, I am who I am because of my dad and my mom, but my dad really taught me. I think he was the one that really taught me not to give up. You know, he was the one that, like, he always was. We're very competitive in school with my brothers. My dad was always outside with us, like, you know, running races against each other. Anything we did, we competed against each other. So he taught me that sense of competition. And so when you get that, like, in your blood, you can't get rid of it. So and that's why, you know, referring back to what does it take to be competition. You know, that sense of, you know, I'm not going to let them beat me.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a big one, you know, because that's a big one in how you go throughout your life, I think. You know, not being, complacent and being always being competitive and always wanting to be your best and do your best and be the best and so that's a big part, and that came from my dad, and my dad was he has a whole story in itself, 8th grade education, and then ended up in Fayetteville, Arkansas with one of the top restaurants in the state, so that's a big story.
Yeah.
And brought up 4 kids, and we all, high school graduate. 2 of us did graduate from college. But and there's a lot to be said for that with a man with just an 8th grade education.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to lose that. I want to keep it. I want to keep it in my heart. And so every time I see my Hispanic patients, it brings a little bit of home back to me, and it makes me feel good, and I love it. I love them. I love them. They, it's just a connection I feel with them.
Yeah. No, well, that's great, man. Well, I appreciate you coming out. I'm sure we'll
course.
keep you involved in a couple of events as I've been involved with Miriam. Like, I don't know if she mentioned a little bit about me, but I'm new in town, been just here over a year.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
just excited to be part of the community and just diving in and exploring
Good.
where we're going from here,
Yeah.
Same thing. My parents came from Mexico, and same thing. My dad and my mom came in a train, and they were living in porches when my mom was pregnant of me, and then they became real estate owners and church leaders, and don't be defined by where you come from, but just know where you're going,
Chill bumps.
So,
That's a great story.
yeah, so all right. Bueno, acabamos de estar aquí con Dr. K, que es descendiente de padre mexicano y ella quiere que la conozcan un poco más. Gracias por escuchar la entrevista y nos veremos muy pronto aquí por el Eleva Russellville. Compartan, hagan like, hagan share, no solamente a Eleva Russellville, pero también a Level Up Russellville. Se me cuidan y nos vemos pronto.